Hi everyone, and welcome back to Whispering Snowflake. My name is Sophie, for those who do not know me. And today I'm going to talk to you about something that I'm really quite excited for 2026, and I'm hoping you'll come with me on it. So, for those of you who were with me for Vlogmas at the start of December, start to the endish of December, you'll have seen me sort my craft room and have a mild realisation panic of how many mini skeins, leftovers, scrappy bits I have in my beautifully curated collection of yarn. And let's not talk about all the other things that I have scraps of. There's fabric under that bed. So, all of those leftovers, scraps, mini skeins, like frogged and left in a cake somewhere, bits of yarn, bits of fabric, bits of thread, they don't worry me so much, but I just feel like I'm not making use of things. Like, I have a lot of lovely full skeins as well, which I have plans for, but actually quite a lot of the time I don't have plans for all these. Like, I've got yarn advents, which are in a box called Blankets and Fades. Like, there's a lot of, it's not just that box that I showed you, and I will hopefully be showing you while I talk, of those beautiful 20 gram or less mini skeins. It is sets that I've got, it's advents, it's leftovers, it's stuff. So I was like, how can I challenge myself within 2026 and hopefully bring you along with me to use some of those scraps and use some of those bits, those leftovers, those very beautiful and highly sought over minis that I obviously got for a reason, whether they be through swaps, whether they be through advents, whether they be through buying sets at shows, all that kind of stuff. So I have come up with the Scrap Happy Challenge. I don't know if this is new, probably not. Nothing's unique in the yarn world or in the creative world. But what I plan to do for 2026 is have a prompt, spark, little like nudge to get the creativity sparking each month throughout 2026. And I will be interpreting that in the way that I want to interpret them. They are very loose little ideas for you to think about how to use, or for me to think about as well, how to use those little nuggets, those beautiful little gorgeousnesses, it's not a word, that we do buy with the intention of using and then end up like, so I have, and I'm looking at it right now, I have, a few years ago, I decided to buy Find on Freecycle lots of glass jars to then sort all my tiny little scraps, like the less than 10 gram nuggets, into colour order. Obviously, normally it's all fingering weight, into little glass jars, into colour order, so that I had basically a rainbow of beautifulness. And it's so much fun to look at, but I also want to use it. So, we are going to do a challenge for the duration of 2026. Very, very low key. I'm going to be doing it because I want to be doing it. If people want to come and join me, absolutely, yes, please. We're going to be running it primarily on YouTube, but I will post some stuff up on Instagram as well, and I'm going to try and dust off the Discord. I do have a Spring Snowflake Discord. The link is in the description. I don't think I've been in there, apart from to do like voice calls and like group calls with friends in the last 2 years, which is awful. So my plan is at least once a quarter, probably every month if I can, but I'm not going to set myself that unmanageable target because I do want to do other videos as well. I'm going to check in and go, how's everyone doing? If you want to share with me what you're doing and are happy for me to share those photos or videos up on this channel, I will also do a little gallery of sorts if people wish to see that, just to kind of spark people's ideas of like what you're doing as part of those sparks. So I've got my notebook in front of me. So currently, this is the order of kind of prompts we're going to be doing. It's very much, I'm not going to tell you, you have to make a cowl this way. Like, do you know, we're not doing that. But what I want to encourage you is to think about what you've got in your collections and what can be used up, what's been in a project that you loved, but what could be used up. So, for example, these little gnomes are made using yarn that I started doing a temperature blanket with and then stopped. But they've made little gnomes. Yay. This, I'm going to have to get this stuff on the floor. This is a advent project with 5 gram minis that I got in a swap. I'm halfway through it. And it is called the Simply Handmade, or the Simply Curious. Simply Curious Cowl, Simply Curious Scrappy Cowl. Helen Stewart of Simply Handmade. It's lovely, and it takes lovely 5 gram nuggets beautifully. This in here is my blanket. It's my design, the Radiating Squares blanket, which is a Tunisian mitered square blanket, perfect for 5 gram nuggets of yarn. There are so many scrappy projects, so many projects you can get multiple colours, multiple yarns into. I am planning this year on doing the Hearthside cardie. Annoyingly, I actually talked about this in my Vlogmas and then didn't share the photo, but I will do now. The Hearthside cardigan by Wool and Pine, which there will be pictures right now. I'm wearing a cardigan that was made from mini skeins. This was the Giddy Yarns mini magical minis. I can't remember what the club was called. And this is the Ariana cardie, which I followed the recipe. I did not follow the pattern for this cardigan, but it's one of my favourite things to just chuck on because it's so comfy, and I'm going to make one that's less 61 colours at some point. But I made it. It's a worsted weight cardigan. This I made out of fingering weight. So I plan on sharing throughout the year some pattern ideas. I'm planning on sharing what I'm doing. I'm planning on sharing some thoughts and some musings and some ideas throughout the year. It's not just going to be, hi guys, this is what I'm making, because that's going to get boring. But what we're going to do is prompts. Now, hopefully, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put little flashcards up while I'm talking so that it's written on the screen. You don't have to take screenshots. You don't have to save, because I will be putting up everything in the comments, but I will also be putting up a monthly kind of, this is what we're doing this month. So first things first, January, we're going to do some fun stuff. The prompt, the spark, is combine. Combine could mean holding yarns together. It could be mixing your fibres. It could be weaving some scraps together. This is not at all biased towards any one craft. We're talking about leftovers. Could mean whatever you want it to mean. So you could think about marling. Who's the best person at marling that we know in the knitting world? Stephen West. So you could actually look at one of his patterns. Or I love crocheting marled stuff. You could talk about putting different blends of fibres together. So the most obvious one for that is a fingering weight yarn and a mohair or an alpaca silk. Putting them together, they make a beautiful kind of mesh combination. You could also go completely out there, like these should not work together energy, but you might think that it actually looks quite cool together in the end result. I love that sort of stuff. I love that combination. Also, if you combine yarns together, it makes for a thicker yarn and the project goes faster. Just saying. January, the spark, the nudge, is the word practical. So practical something you'll actually use, but that uses those tiny nuggets, those things that you've got left over. The most obvious thing to me, as soon as I kind of came up with this prompt, it was socks. Because actually, scrappy socks are so lovely. I've got a couple of pairs of scrappy socks which actually need darning, so I need to do that. But that's a really good way of using your scraps. Something that you will actually use and isn't just aesthetically pleasing. So socks, dishcloths, it could be a blanket. Oh, there are no rules, so whips are allowed because there are no rules. You might think of like household items like scrubbies. It's that whole element of scraps doing real work. So it's not just, I've got to use these up. How do I use it? Actually making something that you'll actually use, something practical. March is going to be the word small. March for me is quite busy because it's coming to the end of term. It is coming up to Easter holidays. And it's coming to the point where I like to kind of carry something around. So you can take that word small for any way that you want. It could be that you make something small. Tiny projects will count. It might be that you use March to kind of swatch. You've got a couple of big projects that you want to get yourself ready for and to test out what yarns to use. Use it to swatch. Swatches are fine. One of the things I really love, there is and I think it is Tin Can Knits, do a pattern called Swatch, which is a little triangle, and then you can make bunting. Really cool. I'm looking at my computer as well because I've got all my notes on there. It could be that you do motifs. It could be you do squares. Like there's all sorts of ways you can take that prompt. April is texture. So maybe it's the madness of April, Mad March hair, but like anyway. Have a think about how you can make those scraps interesting either through their stitch or their structure. So things like cables, bobbles, lace, surface crochet, embroidering on your crochet. Like have a think about texture. That one's actually going to be quite a hard one for me for April. But it's the middle of it's going to be, most of April for me is school holidays. So I'll actually have a little bit of breathing room, I think, because I'll be taking some time off with the kid. Although I also go full time in April, so that might be interesting. Moving on to May, which is my birthday month, we are going to be doing Remix. Again, you can take that prompt and that word for any way you want to. It could be that actually you're like, you can see something, you've got a project that you really love the pattern, but the yarn's not working for it. Frog it, restart it. You might have a blanket that's not quite big enough. Add some panels, add an extra wide border. You might pull something out of the UFO, the unfinished object pile. We've all got them, and add some scraps of yarn because you don't need a full skein to transform it. There's all sorts of ways of taking that prompt from Remix. Okay, where are we? June. June's the middle of the year. June is also going to be very busy for me, so that is why the prompt for this year is let chaos reign. I'm going to let you do whatever. I'm going to let myself do whatever I want. Let chaos reign is all about giving your project to the lords of chaos. For me, that will probably involve a D20 or some sort of dice roll. Probably. July is portable because in summer, when it starts to get warm, we don't want the big blankets. We want things that we can take with us. July, it's particularly the end of July, it's the start of the school holidays. If you're in Scotland, you're in school holidays. So like you're doing stuff, you're going out and about. So that is why portable is going to be for July. Also, we're starting to think about holidays, stuff that we can take that packs easily into a bag without taking up room that's supposed to be for clothing. So think about what's portable. It might be that you'd think about modular pieces for a blanket that you want to do, but you can take the pieces with you. For me, I will be looking for things that can fit in a small bag. So that could be a small project, or it could be pieces to make up a larger project that are portable. Okay. August is the word bold, which I've lost. Here it is. August is the word bold. Now, I don't think I do pastels, so actually this is going to be quite an easy month for me. But obviously, if you tend more to the neutrals, this might be a slightly more challenging month. So unless your neutrals are chaotic, you choose your own adventure. So things like loud colour combos, clashing, statement like stripes or colours, and like could be a if you do colour work, this might be like a bold motif within a quite plain jumper. Very much a trust the process, it's going to look awesome by the end of it month. Okay. September, start of a new academic year for those of us in the UK anyway, or those of us in the south of the UK. Scotland's starting to start back in August. But September feels like a back to school, like let's rethink, let's start of a new year type thing. And a lot of people do start they have that start of the new year feel in September rather than in January. So I decided to add Finish or Frog as an option for this. So this is very much a look at the projects you're doing. Are you happy with them? Do you want to finish them? Or do they need to go to the, as the lovely Kelly of Lay Family Yarn says, do they need to go to the frog pond? So this is very much a step back, look at what you're doing. Is it working for you? If not, take it to the frog pond. October, the prompt is play. So fun first. Hopefully your crafting is fun. Think about how you can experiment. Think about how you can play with your materials. Weird shapes, novelty, fabrics, yarns. October is silly and spooky season. How can you, if you do the Halloween thing, how can you make it spooky or silly? There's obviously, there are no rules, but if it makes you smile, it counts. Okay, November. We are calling this Second Chance. Second Chance basically means if you skipped a month and or you did a month and you're not happy with how you did that month, you can go back and use any of the other prompts or sparks and do them again. Again, no rules here. Particularly November, you're in the run up to Christmas, you're thinking about Advent. For those of you who do Advent, or Christmas. But it's getting into that kind of gift giving, oh God, we've got to finish stuff. I don't make gifts anymore. Because I can't do that with the stress. But for those of you who do gift make, so yeah, in November you can redo a month that you potentially skipped, or you did but you're not happy with how you did that prompt, or you just want to do that prompt again because it was fun. Do that spark. Do that nudge. And then finally in December is Celebrate. December is a very busy month. And I don't want to add to the stress of it, for myself or for you. So this is very much a look back, show it off month. So it is going to be thinking about finished objects, sharing with me your finished projects so I can share them on here. Wins, lessons learned, thinking about actually what worked, which of the prompts really pushed you out of your comfort zone and made you happy to do that. It's a recap. It's a recap and it's a chance to celebrate like the wins and what we've enjoyed. So that is my plan for the year. and I hope you come with me. Feel free to join me. Feel free to tell me what those little nudges and those sparks have sparked in your brain about some of the things that you might have been thinking about, or tell me if you've gone to your stash and have decided that you're pulling out some stuff that you want to do. It would make my very little yarny, crafty heart happy if you would join me, and I will be sharing throughout the year how I am doing those prompts. I've shared all those prompts. The thing about this challenge for myself is these little sparks keep me interested and go, okay, what else can I do? It might mean that actually I get to that month and go, well, actually I've got a project that fits that perfectly. So I'm just going to carry on. That's going to be my focus for the month. So, for example, I am doing the Jigsaw Puzzle by Stephen West, which has been sat and not really loved for the last year. But that is full of like scrappy bits from stash. Like, I very much took his weights of yarn for each section, and I found the perfect weight of yarn for that, which means it is a clashy, bold, beautiful thing. So it might be that I do that for Bold Month, and that's my project for that month. So this is very much not you have to start all the things, because I don't want to add to the whip pile if you don't want to add to the whip pile. You don't have to follow the prompts to participate. I want to see people using their scraps and using up stuff in their stash that maybe they haven't thought about using, or using it in a more creative way than they might have beforehand. So yes, please do come and join me. And I will see you in the first check-in January.